Hey everybody, happy Monday. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 10. And let me start off by saying two things. First off, I am in shock at how fast this season is flying by. And my second thought is there was way too much Ashley in this episode. Let me know if y'all felt the same, but I don't need to see Ashley Darby get 10 minutes of screen time. We saw a 5-minute solo scene with her and Josh. Then we see her and her sister. Respectfully, I don't care. Again, yes, honey, are we ready? Are we ready to get into Potomac? Because I have thoughts, y'all. Yes, it was getting a bit jump scare. Yeah, we had 2 solo Ashley scenes. No, thank you. I will pass. I think that's why this episode, it was cute, but it didn't hit for me because it was too much Ashley Darby. That should be a crime, okay? To get 2 solo scenes with her, and they weren't small scenes. They were long scenes that went on and on and on. And it is clear that Mama is grasping at straws. But y'all, overall, it was a cute episode, but had it been a little less Ashley or no Ashley, it would have been amazing. So I can't give this episode its 10s because it was too much of her. All right. I can give it like a cute 8. But next time, Bravo, have little to no Ashley Darby scenes for me and the good people at home. All right. Yes, she's not enjoyable to watch. You said you skipped them and finished the episode in 30 minutes. I'm sure, because she took up half of the episode. The scene with her and Josh, I timed it. That was 6 minutes, and the scene with her and her sister, that was 5.5 minutes. Too long. Then she took up the majority of Stacey's scene at the end. I said, no, ma'am, no, sir. Absolutely not. Yes, honey. It was definitely a dip in quality from the previous 2 episodes. I agree. Yeah, the fact that we're now getting this whole family storyline, God bless to her sister, but I'm not here for this Jerry Springer storyline. I'm not here for it. Please, it's enough. And I feel like Ashley is doing whatever she can to secure her spot for season 11 because I'm sure she has to be nervous about where she stands on this show. So respectfully, I don't need to see her. Yes, it was very honey, oh no, it was very forced that I felt that you said it was a filler episode. It did give filler. It gave filler. And then what made it worse was the fact that Ashley had 2 solo scenes that were both 5 minutes each. A mess. Hey, Housewives lover, thank you for the super chat. Happy Monday, Brooke. Thank you. Happy Monday to you too. Ashley's hypocritical loser. She makes Ashley's everywhere look terrible. Child. Well, she doesn't make every Ashley look horrible, just herself. Now, before we get into all the things, for all you Monique fans out there, please don't say I never tried, because the way I wanted to just move past the BS with Monique, and she almost had me. But remember, she was on Watch What Happens Live after this episode. And Monique, you have a very strange relationship with the truth. And it jumped out yet again, because what was this? You were asked a question by a fan in the audience last night, and they asked you, is there any possible reconciliation between you and Candace, after what happened? And here was Monique's response, which pretty much negated all that she said to Gizelle in the scene with her and Gizelle in this episode. Child, no accountability whatsoever. I'm going to play it for you guys. I have the clip right here. And shout out to my girl, All True T. I got this clip from her page. Check All True T out on Instagram. Her page is amazing. She has all the clips, all the sneak peeks, all that good stuff. I'm going to play it for you right now.
How do you feel about your relationship with Candace, and do you see there ever being a reconciliation?
There was no relationship, and sometimes moving on doesn't mean that you have to reconcile. Sometimes you just see people for who they are, and you know your place, and you set your boundaries.
So I can't play the whole thing because NBC gets really weird if it's past 15 seconds. So I played you that snippet. But as you can see, it's a whole bunch more of word salad from Monique Samuels, a whole bunch of BS. The fact that you can't just own it and say, I was wrong, I am sorry, that's a problem. For you to say that there was no relationship, that is a lie. Before that happened in season 5, you guys were friends. In the, what was it? Was it the season 4 reunion where they were dressed in all white? Candace said that the thorn for that season was her and Monique having a hiccup in their friendship. And Monique said the same for me because I love Candace. You guys were good friends. Your husbands hung out, both of the Chris's, well, now your ex-husband, but y'all were friends. For you not to just say, I'm sorry, and now for you to negate the friendship that you guys once had is absolutely asinine. Again, Monique, I really did try with you, but you're still the same person. There is still no ownership. And I think that somebody played me a clip. You were on Angela Yee's podcast recently. You're doing a press tour for your upcoming book. You said something to the effect of you did apologize to Candace at that reunion, but because you weren't groveling and begging her, that's why it went unnoticed. Well, if memory serves me correctly, I remember that it still wasn't a real apology at the reunion. It was excuse after excuse after excuse. You were finally forced to say, well, you know what? My bad. You've never been contrite. You have never been sincere. There has never been, I was dead wrong. I'm sorry. Period. Point blank. The end. We have yet to get that from you. I'm just not understanding this new attitude of, well, no, it's not a new attitude. It's your old attitude because you haven't changed. But for you to say that there's no reconciliation and sometimes you have to, put boundaries in place for certain people and all this stuff. So what are you talking about? What are we talking about? You assaulted somebody. You assaulted your friend for no reason. You owe her an apology. What is so hard to understand about that? I would have so much more respect for you if you would just own it and say, you know what, I messed up. I'm sorry. And now for you to say that you guys never had a relationship, which is a bold-faced lie, I'm just over it. So to the Monique fans, I tried to give her another chance, but it's the same old nonsense. So where I'm at with it is I'm just over Monique. I really am. I can't. I'm not going to do this again. I'm tired of talking about season 5. She doesn't want to own up to anything. So what? Like I'm done. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm just so over it, y'all. I was too done with it. Yeah, I'm keeping it real. I'm not going to sit here and hold y'all. I don't want to waste your time. But when it comes to Monique going forward, I'm not going to have anything more to say. It is what it is. She's not changing. She has no remorse. So why am I going to keep beating a dead horse? I'm done with it. You cannot squeeze blood out of a turnip. So whatever. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at. I tried to hold out hope that we're getting a new Monique, but we're not. So that's it. Okay. Hey, James Potts III. Thank you for the super chat. Monique still ain't ish after watching Happens Live. I know. I'm an Aquarius. I can see right through a Libra and they're bullcrap. Ciao. Hey, Bio Miss Flores, thank you for the super chat. No offense, when you said RHOP is better than SLC, I thought this won't last. And sadly, I was proven right. Just dry, sans Stacey. Listen, I might have spoken way too soon. But no, I will say this, though. Potomac is still giving us a solid season. I will not take that away from them. It's still a solid season. Although Stacey is carrying it on her back, it is still a pretty solid season. I will not take that away from them. But SLC right now is losing me. I'm not going to hold you. SLC needs to get it together. But Potomac, let's get it together, okay? Because these Ashley scenes, I can't. Hey, Stephen Nieves, thank you for the super chat. I said the same thing. She almost had me. Yeah, honey, she had us both fooled. Like, Stephen, I was really trying to hold out on hope. I even said, I'm going to give her a chance. I'm going to give her a chance. And when I tell y'all, she's done it again. Hey, Sally K, thank you for the super chat. I'll never see it for Monique again. I don't understand how Candace gets so much vitriol, but you can forgive women who lied about your miscarriage and child's paternity. Such a loser. I know, but you know what it is, though? She's always wanted to be friends with the green-eyed bandit. So her and Gizelle, this is a dream come true. So that's why she can forgive Gizelle, but she can't forgive the person that she attacked. It's wild. It's pure craziness. All right. Hey, thoughts of a wildflower. Thank you for the super chat. I totally agree that Love and Light Act only went so far. Exactly. So, all right, y'all. You said y'all have me screaming in the chat. Listen, y'all, like I told y'all, and hold me to it. I'm not going to rehash season 5 anymore. When Monique comes on my screen, I'ma just report on what I see and keep it pushing. I no longer have any more hope that she's going to get it together and do right. It is what it is. I have made peace with Monique being exactly who she is. And that's somebody who just can't seem to own what she does. But I digress, okay? Yes, honey, we see each other. Exactly. We do see each other. All right. Hey, y'all, come on in the room. So, guys, we are going to start right now. We're going to get into all the things. We open up the episode with Gizelle at the dealership, honey. She is looking for a brand new G-Wagon. She wants an electric one. I said, oh, wait, come through. Now, hold on, though, because G-Wagons are those girls. Definitely one of my dream cars, like stunning, okay? Like, what? And that matte black one that she was looking at, I said, okay. I said, Gizelle, you did that. Like, that G-Wagon is it. Now, Gizelle says she wants to go electric because the environment is changing. The glaciers are melting. The ozone layer's all messed up. So she wants to do her part and go electric. I said, well, good for Gizelle for trying to care about the environment, right? So 2 points for her. Now, one quick side note. Can somebody do a montage of all of the one shoulder tops that Gizelle wears? Like, that is a staple in her closet. I mean, Giselle's fashion is she's truly in a time warp, and she loves her a good one shoulder, like, I don't even know where you get those from, but she loves a good one shoulder top, honey, a top something. Like, she loves, that is her. You said Gizelle doesn't give a damn about the environment. Wait, hold on. Gizelle said, girl, stop talking about me, honey. She's making me choke. Oh my gosh, yes. She's very dated. It's very like 2008. One of y'all said 2008. Yes. A Forever 21 circa 2008 moment. Very much so. Okay. A shoulder top hates to see Gizelle coming. Yes. So anyhow, Wendy is there to look at G-Wagons with her. She wants a second opinion. I said, you could have never told me that we would see Gizelle and Wendy going car shopping together. Like, I would have never believed you. So anyhow, Wendy pulls up. I liked Wendy's outfit in this scene. It looked cute. She looked good. I like the hair. I said, Wendy, this is really Wendy's best season. This really is Wendy's best season. So when we find out from Wendy that her lease is up on her car, and she's also looking at G-Wagons as well, an electric one, just like Gizelle. So she says, but by the way, I'm telling you in advance, I don't want to pull a Stacey. She says, I don't want it to be another Happy Eddie situation. I won't get your color, though. Now, here's the thing. I said, a lot of you guys have the same cars, so I don't think it would be copying if you did run out and get a G-Wagon, Wendy. Like, y'all all had Range Rovers, Mercedes, so it's not, you can't really compare Stacey in the weed business to you getting a new G-Wagon too. Now, side note, I do feel like Bravo is definitely being petty because Wendy, back in the day, Bravo used to really cut a lot of your scenes out, right? And I think it's really interesting that now with all this mess happening, they are going out of their way to include your scenes in, especially when it pertains to purchasing a luxury vehicle, renovating your house, buying bags, shoes. They are determined to put that in there. I thought that was petty of them to include you saying that you wanted to buy a G-Wagon too. I said, damn. Yes, honey, they are so messy. You said, but Wendy, what money for a G-Wagon? Child, listen. I said, a hot mess. I said, but Wendy, you definitely have big plans, honey. Wendy have big plans for that money. She said, new G-Wagon, renovations. Mama Susan got her some Christian Dior. What? Everybody is, doing well around the Osefos household, okay? So anyhow, Wendy, Gizelle's like, oh, well, speaking of Stacey, how are you feeling about your girl? So Wendy says, I feel like sometimes when people don't know how to tell you that they like what you're doing, so instead they mimic it. She says, there was also a time where she reached out to my stylist and asked if they will style her too. Now Wendy says, I don't think she's a bad person at her core. I think that she's sweet. Now, here's my thing. And I said this on Twitter. This whole thing about Stacey is a copycat. The only reason why I'm not going to brand her as a copycat is because they've all copied each other when it comes to businesses. Everybody has a clothing line. Everybody has restaurants. Everybody's selling perfumes, bags, candles. So I'm like, is it really Stacey being a copycat? Like, yes, she could have said something at the reunion and not lied, but I don't think that Stacey wants to be Wendy. Like, and Wendy, that's no shade, but I really think that Stacey is ditzy. I think that Stacey can do a better job of explaining, but do I think that she's trying to be Wendy? I don't believe that she wants to be Wendy. I don't. And then Wendy, for you to say that she called your stylist up to style her, but people do that. And on top of that, I've gotten some tea. Quite a few of you girls have called up each other's stylists or in other franchises to get their stylists. From what I've heard that, just from around the way in my travels. But I'm like, you guys have all called up each other's stylists at one point to ask if they could style you. That's kind of common in the entertainment space. You don't own one stylist, in my humble opinion. But yeah, they all use the same people. Exactly. So just my 2 cents. But no, I don't think that she's trying to be a mini Wendy. I don't. So now Gizelle says, well, I'll let you have her. And now Wendy says, y'all keep jumping on her. So Gizelle says, well, it's valid because she keeps making beds that she's lying in. Stacey is a big fat liar. I don't understand women who move like that because you're sneaky. And I don't have any energy for her. Gizelle Bryant calling anybody else sneaky? Gizelle Bryant to say that she's making beds that she's lying in, the same woman who lied on somebody's husband, the same woman who was sitting up there keying and giggling about Monique in season 3 when Monique had a bit too much to drink, allegedly, and y'all was sitting up there calling her an alcoholic. You and Ashley and Robin were all laughing at that. The same woman who put out rumors about Monique and the trainer. She started that mess in season 5, by the way, but I digress. But the same woman who has lied on countless people, former and present cast members, but she is calling Stacey sneaky. Stacey has not done anything to this magnitude to warrant this much hate. At this point, it's straight up bullying because, again, tell me what Stacey has done to bring this much heat on her. At this point, you guys are making Stacey the face of this show and the new fan favorite. The way y'all keep bullying her needs to be studied. Like, you guys are threatened by her. This is definitely the behavior of somebody who's threatened by the new girl coming in. Because it doesn't make any sense why y'all have this hatred towards somebody who's done nothing to you. I'm not understanding it. It doesn't even, it makes no sense. Yeah, Stacey's spot is definitely secured. Oh, absolutely. They've secured her spot for the next 5 seasons for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gizelle needs to look in the mirror and look closely and quickly before it shatters. I just feel like Gizelle is grasping at straws, trying to find a way to be upset with Stacey. Gizelle knows that there is no real reason to be angry at her. She knows it. And I'm curious to see what she says at this reunion. It makes no sense. So now they get in the G-Wagon to test drive it. I thought it was funny because on the after show, Wendy said that Gizelle is a horrible driver. Like she's always like stopping on the brake. Like, I don't like people who drive like that. Just drive, like relax, calm down. It's going to be okay. So now Gizelle says, in the words of Karen, I need to punch it. So now they reminisce over Karen. And Gizelle says, I feel like Karen should be free, don't you? And Wendy says, yeah, I do. So then she says, free Karen. So now Gizelle brings up Monique and says, seeing Monique back in the group, it's like the gang's all back together. We need the rest of the gang. So now Giselle's like, Wendy, how'd you feel seeing Monique? And Wendy says, I was surprised. The last time I saw Monique, she had that binder. So now she says, it did feel good seeing her. She was light and positive. So now Wendy goes on to ask Gizelle, how does she feel seeing Monique? And Gizelle says, I don't know. I want to sit down with her, have a conversation, and go over where we went wrong, where it went left. Now, I have to be fair. 2 things can be true. Monique is a lot of things, but we can all agree that Gizelle definitely had it out for Monique when Monique came into the group. Like, she was not nice to her all of season 2. She was just messy and rude to her for no reason. Like, despite Monique having, that thirsty energy season 2, Gizelle was also being mean to her and hazing her. And it was like, okay, girl, enough. So for Gizelle, it's a bit disingenuous for Gizelle to say, well, I want to know where we went wrong. You never liked the girl. You never gave her a chance. So let's not do that. Like, of course, Monique has her things, but Gizelle, don't sit up here and play innocent because you didn't like her. It is what it is. So now, yes, she was rude to Monique in her home. Yes, she was. I didn't like that. And Monique rightfully kicked her and Cal out, because it's like, wait, who are you talking to? You're shading me in my own home where I pay the mortgage. I don't think so. Absolutely not. Okay. So now, Gizelle goes on to say that if anybody didn't have a good relationship with Monique, it was her. Says, we're accountable over here. I said, you are? Really? Okay, that's news to me. She says, if this is the same woman I left 5 years ago, then she can stay right where she was for 5 years. So now she says that if she's going to be around this group, we need to clear the air, and that's where the scene ends. So now we jump to Stacey and AJ hanging out. And I have to say, it bears repeating, but I feel like AJ brings such comedic relief to Stacey's scenes, and I really enjoy when he's in a scene with her. He's funny, he's witty. He brings me that vibe of old Atlanta, where we would see Dwight with Nene or Miss Lawrence with Sheree. Like, they just really brought so much more to the scenes, and I really enjoy AJ. Yeah, I think AJ is phenomenal. So now they're, hanging out, having a beer. And Stacey says, I'm so happy that you're here in town. AJ says, I wasn't going to let this event happen without me being there. And now Stacey announces that she's launching history tomorrow. She says after working so hard, her cannabis line, Shayo, is going to be birthed to the world. So she says that she's going to be the first Black woman in the state of Virginia to have her own cannabis business. She says that she said it to the girls in the group chat and nobody seemed to care or have any feelings. And I said, because they're all haters, that's why. She says that where she is in the group has been a lot. She invited everybody to the launch of her cannabis line, but she's not on the best terms with this group. So now I thought it was messed up. We do see a flashback scene of when she FaceTimed Gizelle to let her know. And Giselle's like, wait, is this for QVC? And I said, Gizelle, like, why would you say that? Now, if Stacey went and shaded you about Every Hue Beauty, which is now defunct, or GNA and what you guys do, you'd be upset. I don't like that. You know that she quit QVC years ago. She has her cannabis line. Why say that? Again, Gizelle, you're making yourself look awful, shading this woman for no reason. Yes, Stacey has told some little white lies, the whole TJ stuff, but none of that warrants your behavior towards her now. And I'm sorry, but you really can't say anything about Stacey's white lies when you had Mia on that show for 4 seasons acting a fool. Mia lied on her kids. You don't do that. Like, some stuff is just, I'm just confused as to how we can give Mia a pass for years, but yet we want to be mad and crucify Stacey for pretty much nothing. I'm not understanding it. So yes, they're not detrimental to other people. Exactly. GNA is a trash grab. Yes. Mia lied almost every scene. She did. You said maybe she was curious because she clearly buys all her fashions from QVC. Yeah. I just, I don't understand it. They act like Stacey is the worst person when we've had worse on this show. We've had violent people on this show. We've had straight up liars on this show, and they let them just cook. But Stacey, we want to just act like she's the worst person? Absolutely not. So now, Stacey says, I'm always being accused of something in this group. The latest thing is that Ashley and Kiarna are accusing me of telling Monique's ex-husband all these lies and trashing him. So AJ's like, wait, how would Ashley know this? And Stacey says, because Kay told her. So AJ says, you know what, y'all old asses need to stop this and just make up and chill out. Like, girl, stop. So now Stacey says, I'm going to do you one better. Tia, Miss Prim and Proper from London, she tried to read me in a British accent. So she imitates Tia, and when I tell y'all, I fell out. So AJ says, you let somebody from across the pond read you from Detroit? He tells her to speak up for her damn self. And then he says, put your foot down and check their asses. Now, Stacey, I need you to drop the act and do what AJ's telling you to do. AJ told us last season that what we're seeing is not the real Stacey, that you have more sides to your personality, and it's not the good-natured, unbothered Stacey all the time. He let it be known that, you got a bit of street in you too, like Miss Mamas don't play. So when he told you, girl, stop playing around, speak up for yourself and read them down, I need you to do that, because these women are playing in your face, especially Ashley. And what Ashley said to you in that last scene was so uncalled for. And Ashley, it's going to be you and I, because your mouth, and that's why I will never understand, not to get off topic, not to bring up old stuff, but I will never agree with that sentiment that Candace's mouth was reckless. Ashley Darby has the most diabolical, reckless mouth out of everybody on this cast, and y'all have let her slide for 10 years. Ashley's mouth is, you know what, let's just move on. But yeah, Ashley, the way she spoke to Stacey in that last scene, I said, absolutely not. But y'all swear that Ashley's just, it's fine because it's Ashley, but let somebody else say 1/10 of what Ashley has said over the years, and you want them to get hit, assaulted, beat up. I don't understand the logic, but I guess it's crazy. It really is crazy. I don't understand it because a lot of y'all feel like if it's talk-ish, get hit. Well, if that's the case, then how come Ashley has not been popped in her mouth a long time ago? And every time I've asked that question, I have yet to get an answer. So I'm gonna just leave that there and let's move on. Okay. So now we have Tia at work. We know that Tia is a real estate agent. She does global real estate. She's up there, all right? She works for Sotheby's. She's talking to one of the VP and managing brokers at Sotheby's, and they're discussing building a team for her and all that stuff. So we find out a bit more about Tia. She says that she learned her business acumen very late in life. She was handed everything growing up. Her dad had shitloads of money, in her words. She went to school with Sting's daughter. Boy George was their neighbor. Now I said, did you see PK at all? Because we know that PK used to manage Boy George. So did you see PK coming through? Let me know. Let me know, Tia. So she says that they were the lifestyles of the rich and famous. And then she says when the 80s went away, so did a lot of the money. Now, I wonder, was that a reason why your parents got divorced? The money was gone, and then your mom said, shout out to everybody, I have fun, let me know. But she says that her dad did not come from money. He didn't make wise investments. They had a lot of money, but they didn't know how to sustain it or manage it. And I do think that that's another conversation to be had about, especially in our community, where we will amass wealth, but we have a hard time keeping it. We like to spend. And that, listen, y'all, I love to spend some money. Okay. So I get it. Right. But, we do need to talk about financial literacy in the community because you can make a lot of money, but if you don't have the habits, you can lose it and go right back to where you started from. And I have to say, it was nice to get a bit more out of Tia. I feel like throughout the season, we keep getting the same sound bites of how she grew up wealthy and spoiled. But hearing that the money kind of was fumbled after the 80s came and went, that was, more perspective on how she grew up, why she is the way she is now. Very interesting. So anyhow, we see her go outside and she's calling up Stacey. So she says that she was apprehensive about Stacey's invitation to her Shio launch branding event, but they did start to form a friendship, but things have been funny. So she calls Stacey up. Stacey's super dry on the phone. I'd be dry to Tia too, because Tia, the way you showed out at Gizelle's event, I'd be upset with you. Like, I wouldn't speak to you either. And I'm sorry, Tia, but that was a desperate attempt, in my opinion, to fit in with everybody else and just pile on Stacey, because I'm sorry, her lying about her and Timo not coming to dinner with you and Wendy and Eddie and your husband, that was no reason for you to get that upset. Just in my opinion, it was an overreaction, if you ask me. So now Tia says, thank you for inviting me to your event. I would love to come and support, but I do want to talk because the way things happen at Gizelle's event, I don't want that to happen. So Stacey says, yeah, your response to me was very surprising and I was so confused. She says, I don't know what's going on with us. So Tia says, I was upset with you lying, Stacey. I was disappointed in Stacey's lying. It seems like she does want to make amends. And then I think, what would Jesus do? So Tia says, I haven't completely written her off. And then she says, I have to be honest with you, Stacey. I am upset with you. So she says, I do look forward to seeing you and thank you for calling. And Stacey says, yes, I want to figure things out as well. Again, Tia, this issue really isn't that deep for you to be harboring such ill feelings. And in my opinion, this conversation, it didn't have to be like, I feel like we're stalling out this non-issue. We didn't need this 4-minute phone call of a bunch of nothing and then to still have the same issue at Stacey's event later on. You could have nipped this whole thing in the bud during this phone call, in my humble opinion. I don't know. I just feel like, Tia, you're doing a lot for no reason. Stacey just does not bring that type of energy where you need to be screaming and hollering. And someone made a really great point. Tia, you had Jazzy screaming in your face and pointing her knife in your face at the table when you guys were in Nevis. You didn't do any, you weren't screaming and cursing at her. You were quite calm and collected. So I need to ask you, why were you so hyped with Stacey at Gizelle's event? Where was that energy for Jazzy when she was screaming and cursing at you and pointing and doing all that? Like, I'm confused. It's weird. So now we get to Ashley. Ashley's on a date with Josh. Here's what I'm going to do for you. We are going to breeze past this scene. I'm not even going to get into the nitty gritty about what happened. I don't care. Let me just break it down for you. If you skip this scene, pretty much she breaks up with Josh because he does not have the money that she wants him to have. She wants a provider. She wants somebody who lavishes her with gifts, vacations, all that good stuff. I'm not going to spend too much time. Like I said, Ashley, this conversation could have been had off camera. I feel like that was messed up for you to have him on national TV and break up with him in the way that you did. I'm sorry. That was embarrassing. And it shows me how low you'll go for a storyline. And you don't care who you hurt in the process. Josh looked blindsided. He looked dejected. He looked defeated. Because you know good and damn well you could have told him this off camera. But you know what? I'm not surprised. You're desperate. You're thirsty. You're a wannabe. And you need this Bravo check so badly that you will do anything to stay on this show. This was uncalled for. This was uncalled for. It was very uncomfortable to watch. She's pretty much telling him, like, look, you just don't have the money. And then for her, she said, I'm used to men taking me out on these lavish vacations. I went on one man's private jet a few months ago. We went to Vegas. Another suitor rented out the whole restaurant for just him and I. Even Michael used to take me on all these trips. It was always swanky. Let me just stop you right here. Ashley, you will not sit here and rewrite history. Miss Mamas, we remember when you and Michael would get into it earlier on in the earlier on, it was what, season 2, when we found out that he had kicked you out of the penthouse. Don't act like it was so sweet when you were with Michael. That's not the case. Honey, we all remember. The North remembers. We're not dumb. It wasn't all peaches and cream with you and Michael. Michael has you on a tight leash. You were on a very tight budget because I remember you were saying, oh, well, you know, I don't really care about expensive bags and shoes. I spend my money on trips. Now, fast forward, you finally have some money available to you from that divorce settlement. So now you're buying Prada, Gucci, Dior. I've never seen you with so much designer stuff. When you couldn't buy it because Michael wouldn't give you the money for it, you had no access to the money. Shout out to Sweet Tea for Married to Medicine. But when you had no access to the money, you didn't like designer stuff. Now that you have some money now you buy all these pieces. Baby, Michael had you draped and dressed in rainbow and Fashion Nova. Forever 21 and H&M, Zara if you were lucky. But don't act like you were so used to the good life. You were in that cramped, real messy penthouse with a tight allowance and a cheap wardrobe. Don't act like it was that good. Please don't. Please. I'm like, girl, for you to sit up here and embarrass Josh, but now you want to pretend like you had it so good. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. During the separation, you revealed that you only had a credit card strictly for Uber Eats for you and the kids. So what are we talking about? You're only used to the finer stuff. No, you're not. Like, Ashley, again, there was no reason for you to embarrass this man on national TV in the way that you did. I'm all for the girls wanting a man who is a provider and has $1 in his pocket. You know me. Y'all know where I stand with that. I'm for that, absolutely. But what we're not going to do is act like it was always that way when it wasn't for you. And then on top of that, there was no reason for you to bring this man on national TV, get mic'd up, and clown him in the way that you did. You called him every types of broke and cheap in this scene. And that was uncalled for, in my 2 cents. In my opinion. I just said, girl, stop. I didn't like it. I thought it was very lowbrow, it's very distasteful, and it was just mean. And there was no reason for that, in my opinion. And you know what is really funny to me? The same woman who is always talking about a certain cast member who's no longer on the show, but a certain woman who's always, getting on her about, oh, you're a grown woman, you need to make money for yourself while you're depending on your mom. It's just so funny to me how the same woman who said that is now making sure that her kids are secured by their father, who she's not with, and making sure that she's provided for by the next man. So it's okay when you do it, but not when someone else comes from that, you're mad and jealous, but now you want to make sure that you and your kids are set for life. Got it. The same stuff that you hated with Candace, you're now trying to emulate. It's real interesting to me. And I'm going to just leave it there. I'm going to just leave it right there. It's such a joke. It's just so funny to me how you're clowning somebody for the life that you want and have always wanted for you and your children. Got it. Okay. Yeah, it's real funny how that works. Exactly. So we get to one of the biggest scenes of the episode, Gizelle and Monique meeting up for lunch. Monique, in this scene, I believed for 1 minute that you might have actually changed and turned a corner, but your appearance last night on Watch What Happens Live, what you said completely negated what you said in this scene. So we're going to breeze past this scene because you can't keep your story straight. 1 minute you have remorse for what you did. That's not you. And now in the next breath, present day, you're saying the complete opposite. So I'm over it. Pretty much you just said this to sound good on camera. That's it. And that's all. I said, okay. Gizelle again shows up in a blue one-shoulder dress. Again, Gizelle loves her a one-shoulder dress, top, jumpsuit. That is her thing. So anyhow, Monique says, they're at the restaurant. Monique says, back in the day, I think that Gizelle was a hater. She was miserable and wanted to pick on people. Now, Monique, that might be true. But my question for you is, why did you still want to be her friend so bad? Let's start there. I'm just asking a question. I promise you, I'm not being petty. I'm not being shady. I can already feel the Monique stands about to jump in my comments saying, why are you picking on Monique? I'm not picking on your girl. I promise you that. I just have some questions that the good folks want to be answered. If Gizelle was such a miserable hater, why were you always so pressed and eager to be that lady's friend? That's my thing with a lot of these women on the cast. and I'm talking about 95% of these women, the majority of these women all say that Gizelle is evil, vile, mean, miserable, a hater, but yet the girls are still clamoring to be her friend. They are jockeying for that number 2 spot as her BFF. Please help me understand it. It's giving very much Sutton Strack behavior. If you watch Beverly Hills, you know exactly what I mean when I said that. But yeah, I'm not understanding. She's so miserable and such a hater, but yet you want to be her best friend. Explain that to me because I'm confused. Okay, let me move on. So Monique says, I've shown so much grace to Gizelle, but if you show me your ass, I'm going to kick it. I said, now, I thought we left that behavior behind. And when it comes to Gizelle Monique, Gizelle can say and do whatever she wants to you, and you'll never do anything to her. So let's stop all that. You'll take your anger out on somebody else and kick their behind because you're really mad at Gizelle, but I digress. So now, Monique's like, how have you been? And Gizelle says, where do we begin? So Monique says, there's a lot to discuss here. So Gizelle says, well, should I start with drag me, Monique? Monique says, that's not me anymore. My dragging days are behind me. I've been delivered. So a quick side note, Gizelle has famously said throughout the years that she does not reference Candace. She doesn't like Candace. Her and Candace will never be cool, whatever. Why is Candace's line the first thing that you reference then if you don't like her? I'm just asking questions. I just want to know. I'm curious to know. Why would you start it off with one of Candace's lines of Drag Me Monique when you said that you don't like her, you don't know her? When her name comes up, you're like, who? Who is that? I don't know who you're talking about. I said, okay. I said, all right. Said, okay. The girls don't like her, but yet they're referencing her. So anyhow, Monique says so much has happened in these past 5 years. So she goes on to say, I had to sit down and ask myself, why was I so mad at her, meaning Gizelle? So she says that she's healed after a lot of self-reflection, after realizing that she was too busy being the victim and blaming everybody else. She was going through her divorce and she started peeling back the layers and to see where she contributed to the mess. Now, I couldn't stop laughing because do you notice anytime somebody brings up their divorce, they always mention that Gizelle knows what it's like. They're like, yeah, girl, you know firsthand what that's like. And I'm like, the way they never let Gizelle forget about Jamal Bryant and all of his deeds always tickles me, okay? You said this whole sit down could have been an email. I agree. So anyhow, Monique says that she talked to her parents. She confronted things that have happened to her throughout the years. And this was the one area of her life that she has not yet made peace with. She says, when Ashley invited me to come around the group, I thought this will be a good opportunity to continue my healing journey. But it doesn't mean that you're off the hook. So she says, Gizelle, you do have the tendency to be in people's relationships. That's where we went off the rails. The trainer situation, you calling my ex-husband big boy, it was messy. So Gizelle does own that. She's like, I get that totally. And Monique says, I was always protecting my image. And I felt like if you want to attack my situation, I'm going to attack yours. She goes on to say that she did feel bad when she saw Gizelle's daughter, Grace, at the Pride event the other day. She says, she's gorgeous. And I felt bad realizing how my actions impacted her. Now, you know what? Let me not even go there, because if I say what I'm going to say, I'm going to start World War III in the comments. So let me be quiet. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even going to say it. Okay. But so I'll say this. That was nice of Monique to apologize on for hurting Gizelle's children, right? But my thing is, why can't we get that apology for how you impacted Candace and her well-being after you attacked her? It's like we're getting apologies for every single thing, but the main issue at hand. That's what's really throwing me off about this whole sit down and all these talks. Like I don't. That's nice that you apologize for hurting her kids' feelings, but where is the apology and where is the sincerity about how you impacted somebody else's well-being, the person that you assaulted? Just I'm obviously hoping against hope at this point. I am obviously a very naive woman. I am wishing on a star at this point because Monique is telling us with her actions that we are asking for something from her that she will never give. And we all need to just stop it and just make peace with the fact that there will never be a real apology for Candace. So I'm gonna make peace with that today. I'm gonna put this to bed and stop talking about it. So yeah, you're right. She's not sorry. It's hopeless to hope otherwise. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yes, it's because it's Candace. They don't want her back on the show. A Sunday sermon on a Monday, because amen. No, it's true. Unfortunately, because Candace ain't on the show. A mess. Yeah, we need to make peace that it will never happen. It's true. It's true. So, you know what? Silly me for even asking that. Yes, it is what it is. It is what it is. You're so right. You're so right. People need to accept that you will never see it for each other again. It's true. No, it's true. So, Gizelle says, for me, our relationship, I felt like there was more hate from your side than it was on my end. So Monique says, I don't know about that. And Gizelle, it takes some doing for me to be on Monique's side, but Monique is right. Like I said a little while ago, we can't sit here and act like you weren't the catalyst for why you and Monique had beef. You never gave Monique a chance from the start. Let's be fair. So, for you to say that there was more hate on Monique's side than her side, that's not true at all. You look like you genuinely could not stand Monique. Like you loathed her existence. Whenever she would come around, you want to leave. Like you could not stand her. Like I have to be fair. I have to be fair. That's not an accurate statement. Monique wore you out at that reunion in season 5 with the binder, but let's be honest. She was always trying to be your friend. She wanted to be your friend. And you rejected her at every turn. You would give her a crumb and maybe a bit of hope that maybe you might be friends, but you would snatch it right back immediately and embarrass her. So let's not do that. Let's not say that there was more hate on her end. There was more hate on your end. Again, I can be fair. I can call it how I see it. I'm just saying. I just don't. She never saw it from Monique ever. So now we have Gizelle says that she has felt sorry. Now, in my opinion, Monique thanking her for that apology, I didn't hear Gizelle say, I'm sorry. For her to say, well, I felt sorry for that, that's not an apology. And an apology is, I'm sorry for hurting you. I'm sorry that I said what I said. I'm sorry that I did what I did. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. To say a general, well, I'm, sorry for that. Not even an I'm sorry, just a sorry for that. That's not a real apology. Now, I know that Monique, you said last night that there was more to that conversation, that Gizelle did take ownership of what she had done to you in the past, and you wish that they would have shown that. I wish they would have shown that too, because from where I sat, it seemed like Gizelle gave you crumbs in this conversation and you ate it right on up. Like it was a 3-course meal. Like, I'm sorry, Monique, but you were too giddy to finally be in Gizelle's good graces. I said, girl, you were chomping at the bit. But, one of my biggest gripes is how production goes out of their way to protect Gizelle at all costs. The fact that we were cheated out of the whole conversation between her and Wendy last season, we only got 90 seconds. I timed that one out too. And then for this sit down with her and Monique, we only got 4 minutes. Better than last season with her and Wendy, but still, we were still robbed of seeing Gizelle take ownership. It really fell on, I guess, Monique, it seemed. But I don't know. I feel like, don't show us these conversations if we're not going to get at least 10 minutes worth of the scene, in my opinion. This could have been a longer scene. We should have seen a bit more, because it was both. It wasn't really a whole lot, y'all. And that's why these shows tank, because when they are so hell-bent on protecting one person, that's when the viewers tune out. It would have been nice for us to get the full scope of the conversation, at least 10 minutes worth, in my opinion. You said it felt so out of place. I agree. So now, Gizelle brings up the season 5 melee that took place at a mess, right? We know it's season 5. In me, I'm just like, I don't even want to think about it. Like, that was a horrible season. So anyhow, Gizelle says, I feel like you were on one, like you were ready for some drama and nonsense. Let's take the barn incident, for instance. I felt like you wanted that to happen. It was a lot. So Monique says it was a lot. I would never want that to happen. It was like you have a mountain of what that keeps piling and piling up, and then it takes one person to top it off, and I completely erupted. That's no excuse. Monique, that is no excuse. And on top of that, Monique, the real person that you were angry at, well, the people you were angry at were your ex-husband and Gizelle and Robin. It was misplaced anger. So now she says that there was no excuse. I reacted terribly, but I owned my actions. Have you? She says that whole fight triggered her spiritual journey. No comment. Gizelle says, I never want that to happen again. I just wanted to figure out who was that person in your ear that was making you crazy, because I blamed it on your husband. So Monique says it was the pressure. You know how it is being with a public figure. A certain image has to be upheld. It's a recipe for disaster. So Gizelle says, I wanted to be like, F you, Monique, so bad. And Monique says, yeah, I didn't know what to expect coming here today. And now Gizelle and Monique both make a pact that in the future, they're going to, talk to each other and not trash each other. But if they do trash each other, they'll talk to each other first. So they both laugh. They both hug. Monique says, Gizelle and Monique, who would have thought? And I said, well, Monique, your wildest dreams have come true. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. You have finally gotten Gizelle's friendship and acceptance. So, God bless you. Won't he do it? God is good. Keep dreaming. Keep believing. If you have a dream in your heart, it can always come true. So, God bless. I'm happy that everybody's gotten what they've wanted out the deal. Okay. Yes, honey, it's a Christmas miracle. Right in time, right in time. You said be who you are for your pride. No, it's true. Listen, if you have a dream in your heart, never give up, never give in, never give up. Okay. Why do you sound like Stacey? You said Monique was kicking her feet on the drive home, child. Okay, exactly, honey. Anything is possible. Come get your come get your Sadie chain, honey. She reached for the stars, honey. Don't stop believing, okay? Oh my gosh, baby. She's probably at home saying, I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank Andy Cohen for making this possible. Thank you so much. And last but not least, thank you, God. Thank you. I never thought that the day would come, but thank you, Jesus. It finally happened. I know she called up her pastor, her old pastor who read her down after she did what she did in season 5. I know she called him back up and said, you see that? Like, she probably let him have it. Like, see that? I got what I wanted, and hung up the phone. Oh, gosh. Wait, who is that actress that people reference? There's like that story of that actress who like had been rejected from like the Golden Globes or the Academy for like years, and then she finally wins the award like 30 years later, and she's like, they like me, they really really like me. Like, that's how Monique is with Gizelle. It's like, she likes me, she really really likes me. Sally feels that she won her second Oscar. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's that gift from America's Next Top Model where the girl is crying and smiling. Yes. Okay. Susan Lucci. Okay. Sally Fields is Susan Lucci. Okay. Okay. It's the Emmys. Okay. Thank you, y'all. Thank you guys for clearing it up. Oh my gosh. Lord have mercy. But, God is good, honey. God bless everybody. God bless America. That's all I got. That's all I have. You have my word. I will not be referencing season 5 anymore. It is what it is. I'm done. I'm over it. I've made peace. I've moved on. Let's move on, okay? As a family. So, Monique fans, you don't have to worry about me. This is it. Last time. My mouth is sealed. My lips are sealed. So... Oh gosh. Oh gosh. So now we get to the next scene. Now, this scene was such a throwaway scene. We have Kiarna's boyfriend, on again, off again boyfriend with Greg with the ashy feet. He's at the jewelry store with Kiarna's mom looking at rings. I said, if you don't stop it, he's looking at a 20-carat ring for $2 million. I said, Greg can't even make it look believable. He was staring with his eyes wide, like he knows, honey. He has to put that on Discover, Capital One. He got to call up Amex and see if they'll give him. I just said, this was so fake. This scene was a mess. I don't even want to talk about it. It was so silly. It was so silly. One of y'all made a great point about, do you notice that right after Stacey read Kiarna about being ringless, all of a sudden Greg is at the ring shop? Like, come on. Just a mess. Yeah, he was looking so pained. He was at that store looking so pained. I said, why are we even pretending? This is so foolish. And Angel's there as moral support. I said, now, Angel, come on. I said, now, Angel girl, why are you in this scene? This is so foolish and so silly. Why are you doing this? You could have stayed home and just rested. Why are we even pretending right now? Just a mess. Also, now I have two questions. Kiana's mom obviously does not like Greg. She obviously sees that there are cracks in their foundation. Why is she so eager for her daughter to get married to a man who doesn't like her? Like, I'm confused. I feel like Kiana obviously feels pressure from her mom to be married already. And that's horrible. Like, that's really sad. And I get upset because it's like, this is why you have women settling for nonsense, because they feel pressure to just get with anybody. But her mom knows that they're not compatible, but yet she's pushing them to get married. It's so silly. It's so dumb to me. And then Angel talking about, they're not spring chickens. I'm like, since when is being in your 30s not being a spring chicken? Like I was like, Angel girl, you lost me with that. I said, girl, maybe. I said, not me, girl. Maybe it's different if you have kids, but I'm just like, they're still young. And then on top of that, that's still a bad mindset to have. So just because somebody's not young, they have to rush and get married. And that's why you have women being swindled and fleeced by these no good men because they feel pressure to get married because they're a certain age. That's so dumb. That's so dumb to me. I was like, what are we saying here? And Angel, I love you down, but I was so confused by your commentary about Greg and Kiana getting married. It's just so silly. Y'all, a mess. You said Kiana will be paying his child support. Yeah, it's so silly. I don't know. Again, we can skip right past this scene. I wasn't even going to sit here and pretend like I believed that Greg was going to buy her any ring in that store. So please. So now, okay, another skippable scene. We have Ashley and her sister, Jessica. They're shopping. Her sister's going to college. We're going to skip right past it. We are. My heart goes out to Jessica dealing with Sheila and her dad, a mess. But I don't need to see that on my screen. I don't care about their family issues. I don't. It's the same story from Ashley every year. The mom is with the bum. She loves the bum. She wants to be up under the bridge with the bum. It's not changing. So I don't need to hear about it. It's enough already. It's enough. And then what I didn't like, though, is how Ashley, it sounded like she's putting the onus of her sister to make things right with Sheila and the dad. It's not her responsibility. That's her parents' responsibility to make things right for their kids, not the other way around. I was just like, this is a hot mess. I'm just, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. Wait, listen, y'all, I was not being funny when I said that. I'm just being truthful. The mom is in love with the bum. She wants to be with the bum for the rest of her life. She doesn't mind working 5 jobs to be with the bum of a man. So I don't want to hear this anymore. It's enough already. It's crazy. Her mom is happy. The mom said that she'll work 18 hours a day to have this man in her life, and it's not changing. So why do we need to hear about this episode after episode? Her mother has low self-esteem. I don't need to see this every week. I don't need to hear it. So, God bless. That's all I have to say. God bless. But this scene was too long. Bravo. You guys know you are wrong to have that scene be 6 minutes and 30 seconds long. This should have been a 30-second scene, and that was it. We didn't need a full sit down, 6 minutes between her and her sister. Next time, make it 30 seconds, because I'm not doing this. I'm not. So now, we cut to Wendy and Eddie. They're gearing up for the Happy Eddie pop-up. Wendy says that Eddie wants his customers to know that they mean something. And Wendy says that she doesn't attend his pop-ups often, but he does have a new strain called the Nutty Professor after her. So she's there to support. So now we find out that Stacey didn't want Wendy to come to her Shio brand event because she didn't want her to see the inner workings of Shio. So we see at their lunch from a few weeks ago that Stacey said that it would be a conflict of interest having Wendy there. So that's why Wendy's not going to be, that's why Wendy's not invited. So Wendy says, I wasn't offended at all because she already stole so much information from me. She doesn't need any more. I have several jokes, and we're gonna move right on along. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. Now I will say though, I think that Stacey didn't want Wendy there for several reasons. She probably wasn't trying to hear them all clown her about copying Wendy. And then on top of that, I think that, you know, it's just maybe natural competition. We both have the same brands, but I do feel like Stacey could have invited Wendy. Because think about it. For Karen's candle launch, she had Wendy there, if I'm not mistaken, and vice versa. So it's like, you could have had Wendy there, but I'm sure that Stacey said, you know what? I don't want to hear Ashley's mouth or Tia's mouth about how I copied Wendy. So let me just say, girl, I love you and all, but just stay home this time around, okay? So now, it is the day of Stacey's Shio cannabis launch. So she says that she wants to show her daughter Arabella that no matter how big the dream or how small the niche, if you want something, you can achieve it. And she wants to create a legacy that will last a lifetime. So she says that she loves her business partners. They're all respected all over the US. We meet Dr. Carmen. She's the director of operations. Everybody seems really sweet. So now we see all the gummies. She has 2 flavors, Rise and Rest. So now we have Tia arrive. We have Jazzy arrive. They look really cute. I liked Stacey's outfit too for her Shio event, the denim dress. They look really good on her. So anyhow, Tia says, you know, congratulations. And then she says, I'm trying to do the right thing and be the bigger person and celebrate her. Now, Tia, let me just stop for a minute. I have to ask you, what are we being the bigger person about? Let me know. I'm confused. You're the one who acted a fool at Gizelle's event, not Stacey. You can't be this upset about Stacey not telling the truth about why her and her husband did not go to dinner with you and Eddie and Wendy. I'm sorry, Tia, but you sound ridiculous saying that you're going to be the bigger person. Nothing has happened for you to say that. And the way you acted and showed out at Gizelle's podcast event, I feel like you owe her an apology, in my humble opinion. So now she says that we'll figure out our differences after. So now they're asking her who else is coming, and Stacey says Ashley's coming. You know, Wendy couldn't be here, but she was very supportive. She goes on to say, although I'd love to have everybody here, I don't. She says that she did invite Angel and Gizelle, but they can't make it. So now we see that we cut to Gizelle and Kiarna's confessionals, and Gizelle says, I told her I didn't want to go. And now Kiarna says, thanks, but no thanks. Now, Kiarna, Stacey did not invite you. So why are you saying thanks, but no thanks? She invited your friend Angel. I said, girl, again, you can't decline when you weren't invited. Just saying. So now we cut right back over to, Kiarna, no, not Kiarna, sorry about that. Tia goes on to ask, where's Timo? And Stacey says he's traveling as he always is. And I said, now, Stacey, just be honest and say that Timo does not want to be around y'all because of what he's seen in the past. Just be honest, because this whole thing about him traveling, nobody's buying it. You were already caught in a little white lie about that 2 episodes ago. Just come clean and say, you know what? Timo's a bit shy. He's not ready to be around this group. So he decided to say no and opt out of today's festivities. Nice, simple. Nobody can accuse you of lying, and it will get them off of your back. Just saying. Yeah, you said he could be traveling to the grocery store. Tia asked that out of spite. She knows he wasn't coming. Yeah, exactly. So now we're back over at Eddie's Happy Eddie, Wendy and Eddie's Happy Eddie pop-up, and we see Wendy paying for her strains at the register. So when I tell you that Bravo is good and petty, because why did y'all have to add this in? You guys know you guys could have cut this out. We see her paying and she's like, wait, I don't usually use my debit. I just use my credit card. And she can't figure out what her PIN number is for this card. So she's like hitting some numbers and it says invalid PIN. She's like, wait, what's the PIN number for this card? Like, what's going on? She finally gets it and they're all like, oh, thank you, Jesus, won't he do it? We got the PIN number. I said, bravo, bravo. When I catch y'all are so petty for that. Y'all are so petty for that. Now, we all know that the news came out 2 weeks ago about them allegedly using aliases and having 40 credit cards. I said, God bless. I said, God bless, because she still has her next court hearing. Oh, next week, December 19th, next Friday. I just said, bravo, y'all are petty. Y'all are making sure to point out all the inconsistencies and pointing out the renovations, the purchases, the lavish living. You guys are doing your hardest to include that. Because I can bet you guys money that had this not come out, they would have scrapped that scene. They wouldn't have added that in there, because Bravo has been notorious in the past for cutting a lot of her scenes out. So now all of a sudden we're seeing all these Wendy scenes with her and her mom talk about how well she's doing, renovations, this and that. Now she can't figure out the PIN to the debit card. I said, okay, Bravo is petty. Bravo is good and petty. Yes. Child, a hot mess. So anyhow, Wendy says, I'm so proud of you, Eddie. I remember when we were rolling up oregano, and now to see you grow from oregano to actual flour is a testament to staying the course. Often imitated, never duplicated. So now we're back at Stacey's, and we see Ashley arrive. Ashley was super shady. Stacey, I'm going to have to just whack you a few good times. For good reason, though, Stacey. I'm doing it out of love. Because, girl, Ashley would not have been invited. Period. So Ashley already comes in with shade. She's like, oh, I already wore that dress last week. I said, Ashley, don't you ever act like you're some fashion girl and somebody wants to be you. Because when she said, if you want to be me, then just say that. Nobody wants your situation, sweetheart. Nobody. I can assure you. Don't you ever get beside yourself. I said, the audacity of it all. You have finally been able to shop at Saks and Neiman's, and now you want to act like, stop it. Because again, girl, Michael had you on a tight leash. You were on a fixed income. You were on a fixed allowance with Michael. He was giving you what? $500? Because, girl, we saw the fashions. Now you want to act brand new because you got that divorce settlement that you fought for. Now you want to act like you forgot. But, girl, don't start. Don't do that, because we remember. Don't do that. And I like the way Stacey wore the denim dress, just so we're clear. Okay, she wore it well. So be clear about that. So now, you have Stacey saying, oh yeah, we have the same crimped hairstyle too. So now you have Ashley saying, you know, I can show up and be cordial. I do have some home training. I said, no, you don't. So now Ashley says that I'm happy to be here. I know we go back and forth, but ultimately we can't support each other. So Stacey says, with that being said, I do want to pull you to the side and talk to you for a minute because I do want to ask you, how do we move forward? So they go off to the side and Stacey says, I feel like you concentrate on anything that you perceive to be negative about me instead of focusing on how we can move forward. Ashley says, well, there are always instances that make me see you in a different light. So Stacey says, everything that you brought to me, I've proven to be false, even the stuff with Monique. So Ashley says, well, Monique is choosing to let that go, and so am I. Ashley, just own up to the fact that Stacey proved that your receipts were wrong. Just own up. Just say, you know what, Stacey, you're right. You still won't give it to Stacey for you to say, oh, well, it's not that you were right about that. It's that Monique let it go, so I'm going to do the same. No. You're embarrassed and you're upset that Stacey had her receipts ready and said, no, 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 dear. He was reaching out to me. I paid him dust. I never talked to that man. Your plan backfired. Call it what it is. You are just hell-bent on having an issue with Stacey. So now Stacey says, also when it comes to Wendy, she's choosing to let it go too. She has no issue with my brand. So now Ashley says, well, I have no qualms about your business either, but I don't want you to be a lying asshole about it. And that's where I said, ladies and gentlemen, it would have been right here where I would have said, all right, security, it's time to escort her off the premises. Stacey, I have to whack you more than I have to whack Ashley, because why didn't you kick her out right there and then? This is your event for your business that you started. It's the day of your launch. Why are you going to allow somebody to talk to you like that at your own event that you paid money for? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And Ashley, the way you speak to people, I don't understand how all these people who believe that violence is the answer and talk is get hit, I'm not understanding how they've let you slide for over a decade with what you say out of your mouth. Is anybody hearing Ashley? She is disrespectful. There is no reason to call anybody out of their name, but especially not to somebody who's not done anything to you. The way they speak to Stacey makes me nauseous. I can't stand it. They talk to her like she's a dog off the street. And Ashley, I would have read you for filth. Who are you calling a lying asshole? Because I would have matched your energy. I would have gone all the way back to Michael. How dare you? You need to watch your mouth. I can't stand that. And I'm sorry, but you've automatically lost the battle to me in my mind when you had to resort to calling somebody a hoe or a bitch or a whore or a see you next Tuesday. You've already lost to me. You've already lost the battle. It's okay. The argument's done. It's over. I won. You lost. You can't control yourself. There's no reason for that. And I could understand if Stacey were a confrontational person or she was messy and horrible, but Stacey doesn't even give all that for you to be even saying all that. It's gotten really weird. I don't understand the fans who keep saying that certain people had a reckless mouth, but yet every time I have asked, how come Ashley has been able to get away with what she has said to people for over a decade? It's been crickets. It's been crickets from her castmates. It's been crickets from the fans. I just want to know. How is that okay to say that to somebody for no reason? I'm tired. I'm truly tired. I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm a broken record. It's crazy. And I'm not like, I know that we say this all the time, and I'm aware that it does get tiring to hear, this person needs to leave the show. But when I tell y'all, in my heart of hearts, I truly mean this. If one person has to leave, Ashley needs to be gone. If they're only letting go of one person after this season wraps, let it be Ashley. Ashley has got to go. Her story was up a long time ago. She brings nothing to the table. It's nothing but aggravation, confusion. Seriously, keep Gizelle, bring Karen back, have everybody come back, but Ashley has got to go. I have always said since day one, Ashley is the most diabolical cast member on Potomac. And my words have fallen on deaf ears, but I feel like folks are finally catching up. That woman is horrible. This needs to be her last season. Because what do you mean we're calling somebody a lying ass hoe to their face and this person has not even done anything to them? It's mind-boggling to me that they are allowing Ashley to skate by season after season after season while she brings absolutely nothing. If this were anybody else, they would have gotten the pink slip years ago. But I didn't like that. I thought that, Ashley, you are so blessed that was Stacey you were talking to, because anybody else would have really gotten you together, physically or verbally, for what you said to them. And Stacey, again, I don't know what you were thinking. You should have kicked Ashley out for that immediately. You don't allow anybody to disrespect you and play in your face like that, especially at your event. So now Stacey says, can you just acknowledge that I have apologized to you and I'm asking you, woman to woman, I need you to stop. So Ashley's like, I need you to stop too. I'm always at ground zero with you. And then you give me something else. So Stacey says, are you going to stop talking about me and start at ground zero? And Ashley says, well, if you stop lying, I'll stop talking. That's not true. We know for a fact that that's not true. Ashley's going to keep talking whether you don't talk about her or not. Ashley will pull up lies out of thin air about everybody. So stop. Stacey, you're wasting your breath because she's never going to stop. No matter what you do, she's going to keep getting on you for no reason. So now they both say, 1, 2, 3, no more lies. And then Stacey says, no more negativity, no more evil. And Ashley says, no more lies. So now I have to say, I had secondhand embarrassment watching them carry on like this. I'm like, Stacey, this should not have happened at your party. Why are we even addressing Ashley right now? This is all about you. The whole team, your business partners are watching you. The staff is watching you guys go at it. Like, enough. You spent too much money to go out like this. Like, again, the embarrassment was just jumping out. Why do we always have to do this at these events? Can we just wait, just table this for another day? AJ was horrified. He was just like, oh my gosh, like, girl, enough. So now we have, they're good. Ashley says that she doesn't give up hope on anybody. I said, well, girl, we've given up hope on you. So there's that. And also, who are you to say that, you don't give up hope on anybody? You always start all the mess anyway. So what are we talking about? So now they go into the back room. Stacey has refreshments, water, some decorations, because mind you, it's also Juneteenth. Now, I'm not going to hold you, Stacey, this spread could have been a bit better. Stacey said, let me get 2 Entenmann's pound cakes, 3 grapes, and some Fiji water and make it enough. I said, girl, the spread was lacking, but I'll give you a point because you tried. Somebody said Ashley is a weasel. I'm screaming because, hold on, because you know how bad it is to be called a weasel? No, that really is the perfect word for her. She really is a weasel. Oh my gosh. You said Brit Edie budget strike again. Yes. Where was the barbecue? Exactly. You said the rodent family. She is a weasel. Don't do weasels like that. Typical Potomac with no food. But we were doing so well, though. We were doing so well. They had food. They've been having food this season, but they dropped the ball this episode. But yeah, Stacey spent a total of $15 on that spread, honey. So anyhow, Ashley says, Stacey, I do want to say one thing about it. I've been in this group for 10 years and I've always been authentic and my feet have been held to the fire. That's just how we conduct ourselves in this group. And that's how we get closer as friends. Ashley, you have skated by for years. We have always gotten piss poor explanations regarding you and Michael. You have sidestepped questions. You have not been forthright about your life and your marriage. I wouldn't say that you've been so authentic. You've been a master puppeteer of getting other people to fight and quarrel and bicker. Don't you dare act like you've always been so upfront, because you have not. You've taught a master class in how to keep up confusion so that way we don't realize that you have no storyline to bring to this show. And when you were with Michael and he was being filmed for the cameras, you were still tight-lipped about you and Michael. And the only reason why you discussed Michael's cheating and the threesomes was because he got exposed when he was in that hotel with that other woman, and you were forced to talk about it. But had that not come out, you wouldn't have told us that you had threesomes and that you guys were open and all this stuff. So again, you're not authentic. You're fraudulent. And you've been coasting on this show for many moons, and I don't understand it. It's weird. Okay, I'm just so, Ashley is definitely one housewife where, you know what, let me just be quiet. That is one housewife where I'm just confused as to what production is thinking when they keep signing her back on season after season. Like, I'm just confused. When the execs see her track record, they say, okay, let's keep Ashley. This makes sense. So now Stacey says, I'm learning that, and I'm just hoping that there is a way that we can understand each other. Stacey goes on to say, I do want to say that in this moment, that's where me and Tia are having issues as well. So now they bring up the whole Timo dinner issue when they decided not to go to that dinner with her and her husband and Wendy and Eddie. So Stacey says, I introduced you to Timo even before Wendy because I felt that you were neutral. And when Wendy called me and said, why aren't you here? And I said, well, I never agreed to be there, and Timo's traveling. You were in the background saying that I was full of it, and that's not true, and that it's not true. So Tia says, you had just said that Timo, is his name Timo or Timu? I keep butchering it. Please forgive me. But Tia says, you had just said that Timo flew back. That's when I said that you were full of it. So Stacey says, if I declined dinner with you, I declined. The issue is about my comfort level with Wendy and Eddie, and that was none of your business. So Tia says, I did not specifically say Wendy and Eddie. She said, how come you met Timo? And now Stacey's like, girl, you keep interrupting me. Please stop. Oh, wait, it's Timo. Oh, so you're saying Timo, you're saying Timu. You said, I don't care anything about this Timo and Tia stuff. Just call him T, Brooke. I'll be struggling too. Yes, honey, got my mouth all twisted up with this Timu stuff. Just say he doesn't want to be around either. Exactly. You said Theraflu is diabolical. Not you calling him Theraflu. I'm screaming. Let me take a sip of water, y'all. My mouth is just, I'm like, I'm like, my words are getting all jumbled up. Forgive me. I almost said flued out. Shout out to Carisha. I'm talking about Timu, flued out. Can't even speak. Forgive me, y'all. So anyhow, Stacey says, remember that Timo has only seen a glimpse of the group. Has only seen a glimpse of Wendy and Eddie. And that was from a very hurtful personal moment that happened at the reunion. So we see the flashback of 6 months before they were at the reunion, where Eddie brought out the screenshots, pretty much embarrassing Stacey that she allegedly paid for TJ's services. So she says, my reason for us not being there has to do with Wendy and Eddie. Now, Stacey, let me just stop for a minute. I understand that. That's fine. But I wish that you would have just said that from the jump. Had you just said, look, my husband doesn't feel comfortable. He's still upset about what happened when they embarrassed me with those screenshots at the reunion. This would have been done and over with. But the fact that you told us multiple stories about, oh, he's traveling, he just flew out, he just flew back in. You didn't have to do all that. You could have just kept it a buck and said, girl, my husband feels a way about this group. He's not feeling Wendy and Eddie because of what they did at the reunion. And that would have been understandable. That's, just say that. Just be honest. That wasn't that hard just to come clean and just reveal the truth, in my opinion. So now she goes on to say, I think in your attempt to get into the group, you try to play catch up, but you overstep. So Tia says, I'm going to tell you why I'm upset. When I came into this group, I had heard things that were alleged against you. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. The whole time you were telling me that I need to have your back with the ladies. So Stacey interrupts and says, no, I never said that. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm inching towards Tia in this matter because that's not far-fetched to believe that Stacey did ask Tia to have her back. A lot of the new girls do that. You'll have somebody who just joined the show saying that one of the newer girls told them, hey, you're new, have my back. I've only been here for a year or 2 years, so have my back and we can be an alliance or a duo. That's not unusual. So I wouldn't be surprised if Stacey did say, hey, girl, you're new here, have my back. One hand washes the other. I wouldn't, that's not far-fetched to me. So I do believe Tia in that regards. I don't think that she would lie about that. And again, that's very common. So Stacey, it's no shame in it. A lot of the new girls do say that they do try to latch on to the other girls who just joined the show right before they did. That's not uncommon. So now Tia says, yes, you did. And now Stacey calls her a liar. So, they go back and forth and Tia tells Stacey to shut up. So Stacey says, this is the real Tia, all prim and proper. And Tia says, I don't need to play prim and proper. I am Detroit. I am prim and proper Detroit. I said, oh, not Detroit. I said, not you calling her by her city. I said, oh, okay. Now, Tia, have you been to Detroit? Because you have a fixation on the fact that she is from Detroit. Like you always say it. And I find it funny that you always reference that when you've yet to go to Chicago where your husband was born. And I'm confused by that. Like, what is that all about? Chicago is fabulous, but that's neither here nor there. So Tia says that she extended her manners to Stacey. Stacey says, no, you didn't. You acted so unladylike. You want to fit in so bad. So Tia says, you've been in this group for a year and you still don't effing fit in. What does that say about you, my love? So Stacey says, girl, you're a try-hard, just like your fashions. Get your ass out of my event. I said, ooh, now Stacey, I understand you being upset with Tia, but where was this energy for Ashley? I would have preferred you to have this with Ashley versus Tia. This whole thing with you and Tia is so dumb. That could have been clear. That could have been rectified in like 5 minutes. Like, you and Tia should not be this mad over nothing. Again, Stacey, I have to just tap you on the wrist because Ashley called you a lying asshole to your face for no reason. You should have told her to get her ass up out of your event, not Tia. She wants Ashley's friendships. Yeah, no, she low-key does. And we have to talk about that. We have to, let's talk about it, because it would be unfair for me to not address that. She does. And I really hate that. As unbothered as Stacey is at times, she does secretly crave Ashley's friendship. And it was definitely evident in this last scene, because the fact that you would allow Ashley to talk to you like that, at your event for your business, no, ma'am. It was definitely giving Sutton and Kyle, because Kyle will talk to Sutton crazy and Sutton is begging for more. Don't apologize. It's the truth. Yeah, like, no, for real, y'all. It's bothering me and my homegirls that Stacey's out here allowing Ashley to slide by like this. But Stacey kicks Tia out of her event. She says, "Take your things and be gone, toodaloo, get out." So Tia's walking out. You could tell she's pissed. And she says, "I won't be buying anything from Stacey because she's trash," but she tells the staff that they're great. So we close out the episode with AJ saying that they're tripping, and that's the end of that. Now, you know, it was a cute episode, and you know that the episode was just like okay when we're done with a recap in less than 2 hours. Like, usually we're still at the middle of the episode at 1:41. We're already done. Like, baby, this episode, it was cute, but it wasn't giving me a whole lot. And then on top of that, I just feel like I would have preferred Stacey crashing out on Ashley and not with Tia. Personally. You said this episode was a 6. Ashley wasn't supposed to be at the sit down with Monique either, and Stacey didn't kick her out, noticing. Oh, very true. Yeah, she was not supposed to be there either, but she let her slide. She let her sit right there, mumbling under her breath the whole time. It was an okay episode. It sucked because there was no Kiarna. It wasn't too cute. It was too much Ashley and Gizelle. Too many Ashley filler scenes. I agree. Now, y'all, I'm going to catch up on the super chats that I received during the recap. I'm going to read them now. So, okay. Way too much of the weasel. Hey, Salty Slice, thank you for the super chat. I feel like Candace was the group's punching bag. Oh, absolutely, because they were intimidated, and now that role has been thrusted on Stacey. It's old. I agree. Hey, Housewives lover, thank you for the super chat. I love that lunch scene. I was really impressed. Monique took accountability and didn't make as many excuses as expected. I pre-ordered her book. I'm actually excited to read it. Don't tell Candace. God bless you. God bless you, Housewives lover. When I tell you, wait, I'm screaming because when I tell you, you said the complete opposite of what I felt. You loved the lunch scene. I hated it. You were impressed. I wasn't. You bought the book. I'm not. Now, when you get the book, come back and tell us what's all in the book. I saw that she was talking about things got physical between her and Chris Samuels. Did I read that right? That's going to be in the book. A hot mess. And Chris Samuels, you should feel ashamed of yourself. And I understand why she left. A mess. A mess. Did we watch the same scene? You said crickets. Listen, everybody's entitled to have their own opinion. Y'all, we just joke. It's all in good fun about, if you like certain people, that's fine. Everybody's welcome here. But I don't I don't believe that Monique has changed. I was hoping that she changed, but I don't see the growth. Oh my gosh. He picks her up from her throat in a room full of witnesses. Oh my gosh. Yes, I saw page 6 reported on the story. She's doing her press run, and that's going to be in the book. That's horrible. Damn. Child. And you know what? It's making sense why he really was upset that she decided to come back on the show. And now I'm understanding why she is back on the show. Like, yes, to clean up her image, but it's also to air out his dirty deeds as well. It's all clicking. That's horrible. That is horrible. That's terrible that Chris was doing that and trying to act like he's some gentle giant, and the whole time he's evil. Yes, Cookie should feel ashamed of defending a man like that. I agree. Yes, a big ogre of a man. Exactly. And Cookie wants that. Yeah, desperate. That's what desperate, honey. Listen, a desperate woman, a desperado, they don't care what kind of man, as long as it's a man. They don't care if that man is a cheater, beater, user, leech, loser, opportunist. They want him. They feel that's a man with the stop. They want a man, and Cookie is good and desperate. Cookie is good and desperate. Okay, so yeah, she doesn't care. A pick me, a true pick me at her core. A mess. Yes, a real desperado. Because he has money. That's why he's not even cute. Child, it's very sad. Cookie sees dollar signs. But he doesn't want Cookie, though. So she's doing all this defending for what? For what? Cookie thinks she's a French pastry when she's the last stale dessert at the school bake sale. Child. All the season 5 stuff aside, I'm very sorry to hear that Monique was dealing with that. I know that makes me sad. I'm sad to hear that she dealt with that. That's very sad. He did threaten Jizzy. Their podcast was a mess. I listened to a few episodes. I remember that. I do remember that. He did say, I remember that. It was her and him had that. They were doing IG lives because they were trying to get ahead of the story because she knew that she was the one who started the fight. She was in the wrong. That whole smear campaign about how Candace started the whole fight before the season started, I'll never forget that. But I remember that before the season aired, they were teasing about how Gizelle and them were wrapped up on lying about them. And I remember he threatened Gizelle and Robin. And he says, I forgot what, but I remember that. I do remember that. Because that's why Gizelle at the reunion was like, Chris, don't ever speak to me. Don't even look at me. I'm not going to speak to your husband. She's like, yeah, like F you. She's like, F you, Chris. Don't even speak to me. I remember that. Yep, she was on live every night covering up her lies. Exactly. So, yes, he said he would have hit them if they weren't women. Yes, I remember. Yes, that's what he said. A mess. Child. Yeah, I remember that. Remember he said he would have stomped the ish out of the women on the IG live during season 5. I remember that. Yep, I remember that. Wow, that's wild. That is wild, though, that she was dealing with that. And his no good mother sitting up there defending her son, her oath of a son. That is terrible. Jizzy did well to bring that bodyguard. He needs to be in jail. That is evil. He told on himself when he said that. Yes, because he did. He did. That's very sad. Mothers like that create monsters. He's a big linebacker acting a damn fool. That man used the word stomp. I know, her big-footed son. Yes, that's what he said. He said he was glad he was a man because he would have stomped the ish out of Robin Andrews. I remember that, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Timeout, flag on the play." Absolutely not. Like, oh no. And that was definitely one of the times that I was on Gizelle's side because when he tried to talk to Gizelle at the reunion, and she said, "F you, don't look my way." So I'm like, Monique, you were upset about her calling him big boy and making all those comments, but like low key, he deserved that. I'm sorry, that was wild for him to say that. That was wild. Child. Now we know why Robin said, "I'm so glad Juan Dixon is not here." I still don't trust Monique. She's trying to clean her image. No, don't get it twisted. I still have my thoughts about Monique. Trust. She still has a strange relationship with telling the truth, right? But I don't think she would lie on her children's father like that. And what he said about Gizelle and Robin, it tracks. And I do feel sorry that she was dealing with that. I really do. When he stood up at the reunion, that was real weird. I love that you didn't gag at the binder stunt or him at the reunion when it aired. I didn't. I guess I was too upset about about her not owning up to what she did to Candace. Like I couldn't, like, no, I remember when in real time I wasn't blown away by the binder stunt. In retrospect, I was like, oh wow, that was a big deal. But yeah, when it happened, I was like, okay, like next. I was too worried about, is she going to apologize to Candace? Yes or no? She's not interesting on reality TV. She's a flop on Love and Marriage DC. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Sounds like he would have done that if there were no cameras. Them being women didn't matter at all. When he declared his love at the reunion, that was so rehearsed. Oh, absolutely. The binder was her only good thing. I watched season 5 because everyone kept talking about the binder and I was expecting more. Child, I don't know. I won't be surprised if they make Monique full time. I won't be surprised. I can see it happening. I can see season 11. She gets her flute. Karen comes back. It'll be her, Gizelle, Karen. Stacey, obviously. They'll probably will bring back Angel. Kiarna might get another chance. And then I feel either bump Jazzy up to full time or keep her as friend of, let go of Ashley. Wendy's flute is still hanging in the air because we don't know what's going to happen. But I do see whatever happens. I see them bringing Monique back for full time. I do. I have a feeling if she gets her flute back, she'll resort back to her antics. You said bring Mia back at this point too. No. I see it too. Yeah, I think Monique is going to be full time. I do. Yes, I did. I did see that. I saw Wendy commenting on Angel's post in 2019. I did see that. This will definitely be a point of contention at this reunion. I can tell you that now. Yeah, I saw that. But very interesting. That's why I always say, when these girls do this move of, I don't know her, never knew her before the show. Be careful about that, because the receipts come up and it shows that you did indeed know each other and you were commenting on posts prior to both of you being on the show. You know, remember. So Mia can go to geriatric baddies. She was commenting on like pictures, like, oh, you look beautiful, like just stuff like that. Like how you post on a friend's post on Instagram when they post something really nice. Wendy did say she knew Angel. Who's going to be fired? Somebody's got to go. I think Ashley. I think that I feel like 99% of everybody is on the same page about Ashley going. Like I do. I really do. I really do. Like I just, if this were any other housewife, they would have been gone a long time ago. I'm still confused as to how she had Michael with the whole butt grab, and she is still on the show after that. Had this been anybody else's husband, they would have been fired. The show might have been canceled. You said Kiara and Angel are not coming back, so Monique and maybe Candace will be there. I feel like Ashley saved herself this season by getting Monique on. Oh my gosh. But with what storyline though? She can't coast off of what Monique is going through. You know what I'm like? This, it's not going to, it doesn't make, I don't know. Oh my gosh. That honestly, that I'm starting to believe that there's something. Your theories might be correct, y'all, because I'm not understanding it. You said she's not going anywhere, Brooke. Angel will be gone. Ashley has no storyline. They need to switch them. Ashley, friend, Monique, full time. Ashley flopped bringing Monique on, though. She didn't get the reaction she wanted against Stacey. I agree. Yeah, it has to be, because I don't get it. If Karen and Monique come back next season, two of the current ladies have to come back. And I think it'll be Kay and Angel. I don't know. I feel like, for some reason, I feel like Kay and Angel will be back. I don't know if Bravo feels like being on the hunt for two new ladies. You know what I'm saying? If anything, maybe Jazzy might replace one, but I don't know if Bravo wants to look for two new faces again, you know? So Heather Gay is still on SLC after the whole black eye situation, but they have Kenya. Yup, I know they gave Kenya the boot after a botched investigation. I don't understand what Bravo's criteria for casting is at this point. Yeah, I don't understand. And I told you guys that I got some tea at BravoCon that the black eye situation is not over at SLC, and it's going to come back up again in the last 2 episodes of this season. So stay tuned. That I was told, allegedly, a little birdie told me that the Heather Gay black eye does come back up, and like more details are revealed. So I'm looking forward to the big reveal. And you know what? And Lord willing, production keeps it in there. I hope they don't say, okay, well, the Brooke Ashley already told, let's scrap it out. Now I look crazy, but I'm telling you, I heard firsthand that the black eye thing does come back up. So they were going to bring Kenya back per Brit's lawsuit. That lawsuit is why they ultimately decided to keep her off this season. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, and I hope you and your family are doing all right. I know you told me. I feel so terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that, but no, my sending you so much love. Sending you so much love. They better keep it in there. We need to know more, and we're tired of Heather. Hopefully, y'all. Let me just be. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. I don't want to jinx it. You know, Lord, God forbid they don't keep it in there. Now I look crazy. So, child. Hey, James Potts the third. Thank you for the super chat. It's a job to Gizelle, but she's going to walk into a lawsuit with the wrong one. Look at Kenya. Child. I mean, well, you just saw Gizelle was speaking at a panel a few days ago over the weekend, and she said that people's biggest misconception about me is that I care, and I don't care. So she said it herself. She doesn't care. She does not care. Hey, Kadaya 2 Torre. Thank you for the super chat. Free Karen, free Uncle Ben, tax reform. I'm screaming. Hey, Dark Child 99, thank you for the super chat. I wonder if Gizelle will explain at the reunion why she said Stacey's not to be trusted around husbands and children. Like, what the F does she mean, children? Definitely, when it's time for Andy to get the questions ready for the reunion, please ask him that. Please, because I need to know that too. I need her to answer that and explain why she said that. That was disgusting for her to even hint or allude to anything sinister. I didn't like that at all. Hey, that guy, Jay. Thank you for the super chat. My only issue with Stacey is she does lie, but her lies are like cute little appetizers. Meanwhile, Mia's out here serving full course delusions with dessert. Stacey's fibs aren't hurting anybody. I agree. I think that when people try to compare her and Mia, that's my biggest thing. Mia's lies actually hurt people. Stacey's lies are harmless. Stacey's lies are, oh, you know, I like your sweater, and she actually doesn't, you know. Mia's lies are, you know, my kids don't know who their dads are, you know, my husband took all our money and stole it. Like, her lies are just, they're defaming. They're horrible. They can really affect so many people. They can affect people's reputations. She's lying on people, saying that they were sleeping with somebody else's husband. Remember when she tried to lie, saying that Wendy was sleeping with Peter Thomas? Just, you know, stuff like that can really hurt and affect people's livelihoods. Just nasty work. Affect her children. And then on top of that, she's a thief on top of that. So just a mess. Yes, she also said her son had developmental issues when Wendy said she was slow. Yeah, it's like, it's always, her lies are just so nasty. Stacey would never involve Arabella. Shout out to Alexander Rogers. Every time he imitates Stacey saying Arabella, I scream. And that's exactly how he says it, the way you spelled it. The way she says her name is hilarious to me. And Alex nails it every time he says Arabella. Hey, Sally K, thank you for the super chat. All I will say is that the vitriol they have for Stacey is the same vitriol they had for Wendy, Candace, and Monique to an extent. I could go further, but every time that combo comes up, it's an issue. Listen, I have waved the white flag. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to watch the show. I'm not getting that deep into it. That's how I feel. And, you know, and also you call certain things out. You get so invested for folks that you support to say that they don't even appreciate the support anyway. And so at this point, it's not that deep. And that's why I'm watching the show. I'm no longer getting so invested in the show. And I feel like it shows in my reviews. I'm like, okay, we laugh, we joke, we throw some shade, and that's it. But the days of me, you know, really saying, oh, it's this, it's that, I'm done with it. Because a lot of these women, you know, no shade. I don't know about Potomac, but a lot of these women on these shows, I've heard that they have secret pacts where, okay, girl, you're going to say this to me, and then, you know, we're going to do this, and, you know, okay, so you come at me like this. Like, a lot of these women are already in cahoots with each other. They already pre-plan the drama because they all want the check. They all want to stay on the show. It's the only reason why they're able to call each other such horrible names and then make up the next season. So why am I going to lose sleep and get all worked up over, one, people who don't even appreciate it anyway, and then two, a lot of them are doing this for a check. So, yeah, honey, those days of me crashing out and crying about certain stuff and why you do this to this person, I'm over it. So, you go so hard for people for them to be like, girl, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why? I'm not doing all that anymore. Those days are over. It is what it is. Yeah, like, so, honey, it's a new day. Yeah, honey, you like it. And also, here's my thing. You have to remember they're getting paid very well. They know what they have signed up for. If they are able to still sign up and say yes to that contract for the next season, then who are any of us to be getting so worked up for them? They like it. So who are we to be saying, oh, why are you putting up with this? They want to put up with this. The 80% of these, 85% of these women are so fame addicted. They need the money that they will put up with all sorts of nonsense, lies, because they need this fame, like they need air to breathe. So when you really think about it like that, why are you getting so worked up? They are willingly saying yes for another year of mess because they want that check and they love the attention and the adoration from fans. So, yes, exactly. Who are me to judge? Exactly. As much as we complain about Ashley lying on people, her castmates know that and they sign up for it every season because they want their check. They say, okay, Ashley, lie on me. Do what you have to do, sis. Yes, if they don't care, why should we? Exactly. Listen, two of y'all have me screaming. You have me screaming. Absolutely. Listen, no, it's true. She's getting paid well. She's getting paid 7 figures. So she's like, listen, it is what it is. It's a job. I don't mind taking one for the team to get this check, secure the bag, and get this fame. They love having the notoriety. They love the fame. They love the perks of it. They don't want to give this up. So if that means, okay, I have my castmates ice me out, box me out, talk about me like a dog, I'll do it. So, yes, exactly. Whoop-de-doo. Exactly. You said because someone has to be driving the train. Exactly. Oh, they probably love when you get riled up. They do. They do. So it's like, no, you can't give folks your energy. You can't give folks your energy, honey. Okay. So I'm just saying. I'm telling you, Ashley was low-key pissed. It was Tia and not her who got kicked out. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Ashley was hurt because Ashley wanted a moment. She wanted to walk out and storm out and start cursing and all that, and she didn't give it to her. They all want moments on these shows. They want them badly. If that means that they have to be embarrassed, they'll do it. So, hey, Ivan's Lyra, thank you for the super chat. 10 years on the show and no evolution from Ashley as a person. At this point, has a book of free passes, and I still ask. Oh, at this point, has a book of free passes, and I still ask why is she here? Shaking my head. Listen, I'm right there with you. But Bravo likes it, and we just keep complaining. I think, you know what? I think the best thing that we can do is just skip past her scenes. Like, if we keep skipping past her scenes, it'll really show, okay, she really isn't bringing that much to the table. Hey, James Potts the third, thank you for the super chat. Candace said Ashley dressed like a $2 hoe about 99% of the time. Hey, Devonta Franklin, thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry, but to me, Stacey is slowly stepping into Mia's territory with her lies. I am a fan of hers, but those little lies always become grandiose. I get it, because you shouldn't be out here lying, but I think that Stacey's not malicious. Stacey's not trying to tear people down. Stacey's not trying to destroy families. So I feel like that's why, for me, she gets a pass, because Mia was just lying on everybody who would listen. Mia was causing a lot of confusion. And on top of that, Mia was also violent. Mia assaulted somebody. I will never get over that. Mia assaulted Wendy, and the fact that she never apologized for that. So, for me, I just can't put her in that same I can't put Stacey in that same category as Mia. Yes, Mia was very reckless. Hey, Amy J, thank you for the super chat. Monique never really liked Monique. Monique never really liked Candace. She had to befriend her because she couldn't get in the circle with Big Sister Almighty, Jane Toussaint. Oh, wow. Okay. You really might have a point. That could actually, I never even thought about that. That now I'm seeing it in a different way. Kind of like how Sutton never liked Garcelle, but only became friends with her because of the fact that the cool girls, the Fox Force 5, didn't like her. So she was a placeholder friend. I didn't think about that. You might be right, Amy. Amy, you just might be right. She was using Candace as a placeholder friend the entire time. I didn't think about that. That's very true. Yes, Mia used deadbeat mother as a storyline. As long as her lies stay in this territory, it's fine. I hope she's not testing the waters to see how much she can get away with. All housewives lie, in my opinion. Yeah, Amy, I think that I had never explored that theory. That might actually be true, because the way she was easily led to just bust up that friendship and assault her. That actually makes sense. Hey, Housewives lover, thank you for the super chat. Toodaloo is about to be iconic. Toodaloo! Hey, One Love, thank you for the super chat. You can't punch Candace and then apologize to Gizelle, then say, I am healed. Thank you. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Hey, Housewives lover, thank you for the super chat. Please ignore my super chat about Monique. I didn't watch What Happens Live. It's okay. No worries. Hey, Sir 74, thank you for this. Wait, hey, Sir 743, sir. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, Brooke. Monique was on the local news today and said her and Candace were building off-camera friendship. So that's why she won't reconcile with her. She's the biggest liar on RHOP, not Stacey. Wait, so she said today that they were building an off-camera friendship before she assaulted her? Is that what you're telling me she said? Are you serious? She's definitely up there when it comes to biggest liars out of the Housewives. Oh, for sure. She's definitely top 3. Top 3. She might be top 2. Hey, Tina Gutta, thank you for the super chat. Kay's going to slide her card under the table to Greg. Hey, Kadaya too, Torre, thank you for the super chat. Calling women middle-aged in their 30s is very dumb. Yeah, that was so dumb. That was so silly to me. Like, what? Like, huh? Hey, Dark Child 99, thank you for the super chat. Zoom in on the card to see if it said Pam Oliver. No, I couldn't see anything. I mean, I did squint my eyes. I was looking at the camera like I was looking at my screen like this. I didn't see anything. So I don't know if it said Pam, Wendy, or Eddie Hennessy. I don't know what it said. I don't know what it said. Hey, Salty Slice. Thank you for the super chat. Ashley talking about Stacey, Josh, her mama, anything but her music. Been real quiet since that Roberta performance, and our pain is still strong. Hey, Tina Gutta. Thank you for the super chat. Ashley would have been clotheslined by security at my function. Oh, immediately. The minute she said lying ass hoe, it would have been absolutely not. Hey, Kadaya 2 Torre, thank you for the super chat. We are to invite Megamind, but not Wendy. She said, listen, Wendy, I love you, but Wendy, you can't come. I don't want to hear them making jokes about me copying you. So please, I'll see you next time. Hey, Mr. Be My Star, thank you for the super chat. And she assaulted Candace. Just crazy, just crazy. I know. Hey, Jamie Tynan, thank you for the super chat. Curious if this episode made you feel differently about Stacey, given she didn't invite Wendy to her opening. I think that Stacey did that because she knew that they would crack jokes on her copying Wendy's idea. I think she didn't want to hear that. But I wish that Stacey would have just been upfront about that versus saying, oh, well, it's a conflict of interest, because that's not true. That's like saying, because you work at Saks, you can't go to Neiman Marcus. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now Saks bought Neiman Marcus, but another story for another day, but I digress. But yeah, that was a crock of BS. I feel like Stacey should have just said, look, Wendy, I don't want to hear them making fun of me if you're there. So would you mind sitting this one out? I hate to do this. Next time you can come. But she was better off being upfront. Yeah, it's not a conflict of interest at all. Yeah, I read in the Wall Street Journal a few months ago, they just acquired Neiman Marcus. I know, I know, it's terrible. Too many monopolies in this country. I agree. Hey, Bio Miss Florist. Thank you for the super chat. Y'all, when a man chokes you, studies show the next step is him. Yes, that isn't a joke or should be brought up as a joke. He is a danger to Monique. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sad that she went through that. And well, it's a good thing that she left his behind. And also, I am curious to know what he's going to say for himself now that she's brought it up. She's put it out in the public that he was abusive behind closed doors. I know he has to be panicking right now about this, his dirty secret being out, that he was a horrible husband. Hey, James Potts III, thank you for the super chat. Monique is a try-hard. Her friendships on Love and Marriage DC were through Candace. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Saks hasn't been able to pay their vendors for months. Oh, wait, I read up on that. That is wild. So many of them have not been paid. That is wild to me. That mama's character backs it up, explains co-parenting struggles for Monique. Oh, absolutely. He's either not going to say anything or he's going to deny it. He has the nerve to be mad that she left him. Oh, wow. I'm very sorry to hear this. Well, first of all, thank God is good. I'm so glad that you got away from him. And he needs to be under the jail. He needs to be under the jail. And I want to say some other things, but I don't want to get this live shut down. But I have no respect. That is the weakest. Oh, that is the weakest man. A man who puts their hands on women is a coward. My dad always said that an abusive man is a coward. That is the sorriest display of a man. And I'm very sorry that you dealt with it, but thank God that you and your son I'm glad you got away. I really am. I get so pissed off when I hear stuff like that. Just crazy. And I feel like there's not enough done in this country, I feel, about that. Like, but thank God you got away. Thank God. I definitely Oh, wow. Oh, God, no, God bless you. God bless you. I'm glad that you ran to another state. I really am. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you for saying it. Because if I say it, YouTube gets real, strange about, certain stuff. So I'm glad we see each other, because I have the worst. I have the worst thoughts. I Don't get me started on deadbeat parents, stuff of this nature. I lose my mind. Oh, wow. Saks was taking months to refund my money. I had to call my credit card to get my refund. Oh, well, that's horrible. Child. But yeah, guys, this episode, it was just okay. Now, next week's episode looks really good, because it looks like we're going to be seeing them go to Colorado for Angel's trip. And Angel is dealing with Wendy says, I heard you got evicted from your home in Colorado. And she's like, no, girl, I didn't. So it's going to be some, I guess, drama there. But yeah, the next episode looks good. They could have given us next week's episode this last night, in my opinion, because this episode was just okay. Yes, it was. It was too many filler scenes. Yes, next episode's promo looked better than this entire episode. I agree. They could have combined. Yes, they could have combined next. Yes, they should have combined next week's episode with this one. I agree. Like okay, so this should have been they should have started this episode off with Gizelle and Monique having their talk, and then the next scene should have been Stacey's Shio event, and then it should have been them getting ready for Angel's event, Angel's Colorado trip, and then that happening. But I don't know why we got this episode. It was a bunch of nothing. This episode was 75% Ashley. Ashley got the majority of the screen time. Yeah, no, it was way too much Ashley. This episode should not have been a standalone. Oh, I agree. It should have been, like you said, combined next week's episode with this one. We should have started off, the first scene should have been Gizelle and Monique sitting down, then the Shio event, and then the rest should have been the trip to Colorado. You said Ashley's exit package. It was an Ashley episode, so it was a snooze fest. If you find out, let me know, because I've been asking around. Trust me. The sneak peek just dropped. I skipped all of Ashley's scenes and the scene of Greggles pretending to buy rings. It was done with the episode of 25 minutes. No, I'm trying to find out. Trust me. The day I find out is the day that I'll be breaking the news right here on my channel. Okay, so please no, seriously. Like, okay, if I know something, right, I will tell you guys, like, in a roundabout way. If I'm not allowed to tell you, and if I ever like do this, like, then I know something for sure, but I just can't like say it outright. But like, no, I honestly do not know anything about, like, I have asked. I have no idea why and how she's still there. Like, I'm in the dark, just like y'all are. So I promise you, the day I should ever find out, I will come on here and let you know immediately. Okay. So you have my word about that. You have my word. Hey, so fresh, so clean. Thank you for the super chat. Ashley is trash. She lied for that nasty child husband who touched on black men at her job, and she has the audacity to call people liars. A mess. You said Greg was there for the free champagne. No, I promise you, I will tell you the day I find out, I will be the first one on here telling you all. I found the secret. Y'all are gonna get me in trouble in these comments. You said Ashley is there because people keep getting arrested. When that gets exposed, Bravo will fire her. The Greg Rings scene with Kay's mom and Angel is giving, I can't afford this. Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. And Greg made sure to have closed-toe shoes in this scene too. He made sure not to bring those grilling uncle sandals. He made sure to hit those ankles with some Vaseline, and he made sure to have some closed-toe shoes. Oh gosh. So I don't know why this has me screaming. This comment has me screaming. You said up there wasting folks' time. Yeah, he did look scared. Child, I want to know too. If you find out, let me know. You know Greg was wearing those high socks. Oh no. Kay really wants some ashy feet and a cloudy ring. Oh Lord. He wanted to run out that jewelry store so bad. Oh gosh. You said that was a Crisco glow. Jesus. You said not getting a bit of commission. Oh gosh, you guys are so funny. Okay, you guys are so funny. Oh gosh, he was Yeah, no, he was stuttering. He was like, "Oh well, yeah, well, you know, I'm gonna talk to Kiarna about this. Yeah, well, so he was stuttering and stammering when it came to the ring. He was just like, and then when the saleswoman said, "Oh, well, we have this one for 6 carats. It's 180,000," and he was like, "Yeah, so you know, I gotta clear some things off, off my credit card, because I got Capital One, I got Discover, I gotta put them." He has to use all his credit cards to pay for the ring, like Sherry Shepherd's ex-husband did. He said it's playing in them people's store. Oh my gosh. Not an Amex in sight, okay? Not one, honey, not one. You said he opened that wallet and a moth flew out. Wait. Oh my gosh. He should have asked Pam Oliver. He gave Sheree a run for his money with that stuttering. Oh no, he has to talk to Kay to see if she's comfortable paying that much for her ring. Oh my gosh. You said hit up Wendy and Eddie, they got 40. That lady knew she wasn't getting anything that day. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, y'all are so funny. Oh my gosh, please. Oh my Lord. All right, guys, I'm gonna close out right here. But y'all will see me for we have SLC, Beverly Hills, and some other videos I'll be dropping. So y'all, I'm gonna end. Oh wait, hold on. Let me read this one super chat. Hey, so fresh, so clean. Thank you for the super chat. Greg, buy the condo, not the ring. Play the long game like he was playing in them people's store. Upper poor. Y'all are too much. Oh gosh. He said jogger's lifestyle, wallet drier than his ankles, crying on the inside. Jesus. Drier than a Popeye's biscuit. Wait, hold up. I need to shout out James Potts the third. James, are you in the chat still? Let me know. Are you in the chat? Please holler at me if you're in the chat, because the fact that you have upper poor embedded in our brains, you did your big one with that. You did your big one with that, okay? But yes, y'all, I'm gonna end the live right here. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see you all for the next recaps. Okay, guys. Bye.